The Pixel 8 Pro is one of the best value phones you can buy in 2025. If you want a fast and fluid phone that will be supported for many years and can be found under $400 on the used market, this is the phone for you. Let's kick it off with the build quality. This phone just feels amazing in the hand. You're getting a polished aluminum frame, which honestly, I wish it was matte because of the grease and the fingerprints, but you do get a beautiful matte finish on the back. I have mine in this light blue color that they call Bay, and it is easily one of my favorite colors of any smartphone ever. There's something about the coating that Google used that feels so soft and silky. I like how it feels significantly more than the coating on the Pixel 9 Pro XL that I have. A couple things to note, however: the polished aluminum frames will scratch easier than the titanium on the iPhone 15 Pro Max and the S24 Ultra that were released the same year. Also, the camera frame and module, even though it looks amazing, it picks up scratches so easily that it's impossible to avoid. Every time you put your phone down, it's going to get scratched. I would definitely pick up a case that covers the camera module really well. Keeping the price in mind though, I wouldn't consider this a deal breaker. For the front, you get Gorilla Glass Victus 2, and I'm gonna tell you just like it is. This will pick up random micro scratches easier than most phones I have ever had. Just pick up any cheap tempered glass screen protector and you're gonna be fine. One thing people underestimate is the curves on this device. There is something about it, how it fits in your hand, that makes it much easier to hold and more ergonomic than even my Pixel 9 Pro XL, which has more of a boxy design. All buttons feel and sound amazing, and the overall build quality is great for the price that you can find this used. What about that display? It's bright, vibrant, and looks great when you're using it for long periods of time for content consumption. Pixel phones have always struggled with displays, and ever since they released the 8 Pro, Google started to get it right. But let's be honest, the S24 and the S25 Ultra's display are going to be better in every single way. You're not getting any kind of anti-reflective coating, and the resolution isn't as high either. But it's still an incredible value for the price. You're getting a 6.7-inch LTPO OLED with a resolution of 1344 by 2992 and 489 pixels per inch screen density, 120 Hz, 1600 nits of high brightness mode, and even 2400 nits of peak brightness. The screen looks fantastic, whether you're indoors or in the bright sun. Now, anyone considering a Pixel phone right now, the camera setup is probably one of their top priorities. Here is a full list of the camera specs if you want to pause here, but in short, you get a 50 megapixel main camera, a 48 megapixel ultra wide, and a 48 megapixel telephoto with up to 5 times optical zoom. Whether you're indoors, outdoors, in low light or good light, you consistently get accurate colors, strong HDR, excellent dynamic range, and great noise control overall. I know that when I pull this phone out for a quick photo, I'm gonna get an awesome photo every single time. If you want camera reliability at a great price, this is definitely the phone for you. Also, portraits and overall edge detection look great. Ultra wide is very capable, and the optical and even the digital zooms do a great job without losing a lot of detail. Another thing people want to know about, because well, Pixels have never been great with this in the past, it's the battery. Look, I'm a long-time Pixel user, and battery life in the past has almost always been average or below average. I will say that this phone is not perfect, nor is it on the same level as the Google Pixel 9a, but it does an above average job with my heavy use. I easily get about 7 hours of screen on time every single day. I've even noticed it jump up to close to 8 hours with Android 16, which is going to run great on this phone. And because everyone is a little bit different, my use normally consists of taking phone calls, sending messages to family and friends, listening to music, watching YouTube, of course, and playing games from multiple things like mobile games or even emulators. So don't expect 2 days of use, but you can easily get through the day without having to charge it again. Let's talk about some Pixel perks. There are so many cool things that this phone gives you. Now, I'm only going to talk about the features that I personally use, so I'm not going to go over the entire list, but first you have things like call screen. I use this every single day. When somebody is calling me, especially when I get telemarketer calls or calls from people I just don't have saved in my phone yet, I always use it. And what about things like Magic Eraser? When this was initially released, it was the best object and person remover ever. In many ways it still is, but at least as of the recording of this video, I think Samsung has the edge slightly. And Live Translate? This is something that to me, I don't technically use all the time, but I am someone who has friends and family who just don't speak English, or if they do, they're still learning it. The Google Pixel does an incredible job with its live translation, and I feel like it's a feature that doesn't get the recognition it deserves. And speaking of amazing features, there is no better transcription tool than a Google Pixel device. The ability to transcribe something quickly and efficiently with minimum to zero errors from the Google Pixel is incredible. It quickly understands different kinds of accents and the context of the overall message. If you're a college student and are allowed to record your classes, I'm telling you, do not pass up the Google Pixel. You can thank me later. And lastly, and this feature is one that makes me regret switching my SIM card into another Android phone, and it's now playing. This is yet another Google Pixel feature that is extremely underrated. Are you in the gym, grocery store, at a restaurant, and you hear a song you want to add to your favorite playlist? No need to ask your virtual assistant what the name of the song is, it's right there on your lock screen. You can then open the song up in multiple different music players depending on which one that you prefer. It even has a history of all the songs that were playing around you. I love this feature. But enough about all those cool Pixel features, let's talk about security. When I look online, a lot of people have major gripes with the fingerprint sensor or the optical fingerprint sensor of the Google Pixel 8 Pro. They always talk about how they don't like it, it just doesn't work, or it's very inconsistent. This fingerprint sensor on this phone has been great. I have never had a single issue getting onto my phone, that is, with a screen protector off. For whatever reason, especially with optical fingerprint sensors like this one has, but even with ultrasonic fingerprint sensors that I have found, it can be a struggle to get it to work consistently. One trick that has helped me, however, other than the obvious of registering multiple fingerprints of the same finger, is if you lick your finger, yes, I know it's a little gross, but then you register your fingerprint sensor with the screen protector off, it does tend to help accuracy once you apply the screen protector. It still won't be as good as a Pixel 8 Pro without a screen protector, but I promise you it helps. But even with this downside, one huge benefit is that the facial recognition is extremely accurate as long as you have decent lighting. No, this is not going to work as well as an iPhone in poor lighting or in a completely dark room, but it does match the iPhone in that you can use the facial recognition for entering secure applications like a credit card application, for example. You cannot do this with any Android phone sold in the US. It's incredible that this is still an issue. You're also getting the latest security and software updates straight from Google because, well, it's a Pixel. Google also promises 7 years of updates as of the official release of this device, which means that you're gonna get software support until the end of 2030, giving you plenty of years of secured use at under $400. Now, getting into the performance, this phone is fast, fluid, and just a pleasure to use for typical smartphone things. The Google Tensor G3 gets a lot of hate because of how it looks on paper, and well, maybe that's fair criticism if you're buying this phone for almost $1,000 brand new, but for under $400, I think we need to keep that into perspective. It is plenty fast for anything you want to use your phone for. That means if you want to spend long periods of time emulating higher quality games, this phone can handle it with no issues. Also, something that a lot of people ask about in the comments on all of my Pixel videos is, does the phone overheat? I think the better question to ask is, can this phone overheat? Yes, it can overheat, but don't get the idea that this phone is constantly overheating. If you're indoors and playing games at a high brightness and full performance mode, you're going to be just fine. If you're in a 90-degree weather situation in the direct sunlight trying to film 4K 60 for an hour straight, you're going to have issues. The Tensor G3 is cooler than the G2, the G2 is cooler than the G1, and the G4 is cooler than the G3. With that said, I've only encountered overheating once, and that was when I was filming 4K 60 for a long period of time in my hot Florida sun. Outside of that, my phone has been fine and doesn't overheat any more than my other Android devices. And because so many of you have thanked me for including this in my videos, here's the test of the haptic feedback. Here's a quick comparison to the Pixel 9 Pro XL. And for the speakers, this is a difficult thing to test because of all the variables I simply cannot control. So I think the best thing to do is to test it against speakers that we already know are very loud and clear, and that's on the S25 Ultra. So, bottom line, should you buy this phone in 2025? Well, if you're looking for a comfortable phone with years of software support, fluid performance, and a beautiful screen, better than average battery life, even though it could definitely be better, and all of this wrapped in a device under $400 on the used market, then yes, this is the phone for you. Do not hesitate to give it a try. If you liked this video, please give it a like down below. If you disliked it, yeah, whatever, dislike it I guess. But subscribe for more if you like what I do, and I will see all of you next time.